Hello, good morning. Myself, I am BSR Botany lecturer. Today our topic, translation. Very, very important. What is the meaning of translation? Synthesis of polypeptide chain, synthesis of protein. So before translation, you should know transcription. What is the transcription? Synthesis of mRNA from the DNA in presence of RNA polymerase. In presence of RNA polymerase is called transcription. So mRNA synthesis is DNA dependent RNA synthesis. So in presence of RNA polymerase, step by step you look at here, this is the DNA strand, and this DNA strand, one strand is 3 to 5 prime strand, another strand is 5 to 3 prime strand, in which 3 to 5 prime strand only act as a template, which act as a template. That template strand only can synthesize the mRNA. So mRNA always forms in 5 to 3 direction. That process is called a transcription. Now this mRNA involved in protein synthesis. That process is called translation. So mRNA is moving and involved in protein synthesis. That process is called translation in presence of RNA polymerase. Okay, now translation. So in the translation, the first step is step by step. Very simple way we are going. The first step in initiation of polypeptide chain. Initiation of polypeptide chain. So it means initiation of protein synthesis. Somebody is initiating. Who is initiating the polypeptide chain? Yes. You take this is the mRNA 5 prime to 3 prime, in which AUG is the initiator codon. AUG, initiator codon, which always code for methionine amino acid. So methionine R C H MH2 COOH. This is the amino acid. Already discussed all these things. This is the amino acid structure. R represents the alkyl group. Mainly, you look at here, this formyl methionine that is blocked by formyl group. That is why it is called formyl methionine. So that is why always carboxyl group is free in the methionine. Okay, so the first amino acid is methionine. That is the initiator. AUG is the initiator codon. Okay, so during the protein synthesis, for example, you take in prokaryotes, 70S ribosomes are involved in protein synthesis. Whereas in eukaryotes, 80S ribosomes, but in mitochondria, 70S ribosomes are involved in protein synthesis. First, to understand, I am going to prokaryotes. In the 70S ribosome, in the ribosome, 2 subunits are present. The smaller subunit is 30S subunit, larger subunit is 50S subunit. Yes, in each ribosome, 2 subunits are present. One is 30S and another one is 50S. These 2 subunits, smaller and larger subunits, may associate during the protein synthesis and dissociate after protein synthesis in presence of magnesium ion. Here magnesium ion is playing an important role for association of ribosome and dissociation of ribosomal subunit. Okay, so look at here. This is 30S smaller subunit. This is 50S larger subunit. Especially in the ribosome, rRNA is present. Ribosomal RNA. And one more thing, in the larger subunit, there is a site. 2 sites are present. One is P site, it means peptidyl site. Another one is A site, that is called acceptor site. Okay, during the protein synthesis, for example, you take this is the AUG. I am taking the second codon is triple G. So first smaller subunit binds to the mRNA. Later on, larger subunit binds to the mRNA. smaller subunit and larger subunit. And look at here, in this larger subunit, this is the P site and this is the A site. Okay, clear? Now, this is peptidyl site and this is the A site. And one more important point, in this larger subunit, ribozyme enzyme is present, that is nothing but peptidyl transferase enzyme. In this larger subunit only, peptidyl transferase enzyme is present. So now, this is the P site and A site. Once AUG is the initiator codon which initiates the amino acid. What amino acid? First, always methionine. The methionine always binds with the pharmyl group, hence it is called pharmyl methionine. That is blocked by the pharmyl group, hence it is called F-met pharmyl methionine. Anyway, now not only methionine, all amino acids, all 20 types of amino acids, first they are inactive. That inactive amino acid activated by amino acyl synthetase enzyme. Amino acyl synthetase enzyme, remember that one. Like that, for every amino acid, that amino acyl synthetase enzyme is specific. So all amino acids are inactive. That inactive amino acid activated by amino acyl synthetase enzyme. So amino acid is activated by the enzyme that is very specific amino acyl synthetase enzyme. Not only that one, ATP is required. ATP is required. So that is why. So A amino acid in presence of enzyme, ATP bind to form AMP complex, enzyme complex, that is called amino acyl adenylate complex. What is that one? Amino acyl adenylate complex. Very, very important. Amino acid, ATP converted into AMP and an enzyme. So that is why 2-pyrophosphates can be released. Amino acyl adenylate complex, it means now the amino acid is activated. Now this activated amino acid binded to tRNA. Many tRNAs are there in the cytoplasm. Many tRNAs. You know the tRNA, clover leaf model structure. Many tRNAs are present. So these are the tRNAs. Especially the third end, that is called CCA end. You know that CCA end is called amino acid binding site. Opposite to the CCA end, here anticodons are present. So these anticodons may be AAA, if for example UAC, CCC, like that anticodons are present. So these are the tRNAs. Now the first amino acid is methionine. That methionine is binds to the tRNA. That to which tRNA? There the tRNA with anticodon UAC. Because this anticodon complementary to AUG, so that is why the amino acid binded to the CCA end of the tRNA. That to which tRNA? The tRNA, the anticodon with the UAC. So that tRNA is initiator tRNA, that amino acid is initiator amino acid, that codon is initiator codon. Okay, so once the amino acid is activated, that amino acid attaches to the CCA end, later on that enzyme and ATP can be released. Now that amino acid and tRNA is called amino acyl tRNA. Amino acid plus tRNA is called amino acyl tRNA. Now this tRNA, especially this tRNA, brings the amino acid that to formyl methionine amino acid. That methionine directly moves to the P site, not to the A site. Directly to the P site. Only one amino acid, that only methionine brings directly to the P site. So now this is the tRNA. So the tRNA anticodon UAC. In between the UAC and AUG, there again hydrogen bonds established in between U and A, two bonds, A and U, two bonds, in between C and G, three bonds can be formed. So now the amino acid, what is that one? RCHNH2, or you can write here NH2 because it is a formyl methionine. NH2 RCOOH. Methionine moves directly. Okay, now A site is vacant position. A site is vacant position. Now the initiation is over. Initiation is completed. After that, the second one is elongation of polypeptide chain. How to elongation takes place? Yes, now A site is vacant position. Now the second code, for example, I am taking triple G. When there is triple G codon, the triple G codon code for glycine amino acid. Same here, the glycine first inactive in condition, that glycine activated by specific amino acyl synthetase enzyme. So that is by glycine plus enzyme plus ATP to form amino acyl adenylate complex. Later on, that glycine it binds to bind to tRNA. So now this is the glycine. The glycine is bind to tRNA with the anticodon. What is that one? Triple C. Especially this glycine added to CCA end. All amino acids are bind to CCA end. Here opposite to the CCA end, what is the anticodon? Triple C. Now this is the second tRNA, brings the amino acid only to the A site, not to the P site, only to the A site. It means for every amino acid, how many ATPs are required? 1 ATP. So for bringing of the amino acid from amino acid pool to A site, here elongation factors are required. That elongation factor is required by that is formed by the hydrolysis of GTP. Guanine triose phosphate is required for elongation factor. To bring the new amino acid to the A site, elongation factor is required, that is formed by the hydrolysis of GTP. Anyway, the second tRNA moved to A site. So this is the triple C anticodon. Now this is the amino acid. So always remember, carboxyl group of first amino acid, amino group of second amino acid, there a peptide bond is formed. How the peptide bond is formed? H and OH, there in between OH and H bind to form, water can be released. So there the peptide bond is formed. Carboxyl group of the first amino acid, amino group of the second amino acid, their peptide bond is formed, so that what is can be released. For every one peptide bond, how many water molecules are releasing? One water molecule. Remember that one. Now polypeptide, their peptide bond is formed because of peptidyl transferase enzyme. Anyway, that peptidyl transferase enzyme formed the peptide bond in between carboxyl group of first amino acid and amino group of second amino acid. Now translocation takes place. Translocation. What is the meaning of translocation? Here, these ribosomes are moving from one codon to another codon. One codon to another codon. So now translocation. Look at here. So the translocation means how the process takes place. So now ribosomes are moving from one codon to another codon. So the first codon is AUG, second codon is triple G, and third codon I am drawing triple U. It means the ribosomes are moving from one codon to another codon. Yes, now here this is the P site and this is the A site, SP site, and this one is A site. Now when the ribosomes are moving from one codon to another codon, yes, here this is the first tRNA and this is the second tRNA, this is the first amino acid and this is the second amino acid. It means the entire polypeptide chain shifted from A site to P site. That process is called translocation. So entire is shifted from A site to P site, that is called translocation. For translocation also elongation factor is required. So elongation factor is also formed by the hydrolysis of GTP. So it means for every one amino acid, how many GTPs are required? 2 GTPs are required. 2 GTPs, remember that one. 2 GTPs are required. Okay, now. So now look at here. So a very important point here, small change is there, but now you remember. So for every amino acid, how many GTPs are required? 2 GTPs. How? For moving from amino acid pool to A site and moving from A site to P site. So for elongation and for translocation, 2 elongation factors are required. These 2 elongation factors are formed by the hydrolysis of 2 GTPs. So for now, you remember that one. Later on, a proper mathematical approach I can explain. Okay. Now, translocation is over. So how many translocation? Only one translocation. Now A site is a vacant position. Now triple U is there. Triple U code for what is that one? Phenylalanine amino acid. But here remember, once tRNA moving from P site to outside, that tRNA loses the hydrogen bonds and released into the cytoplasm, and again they are involved in protein. So this is the first codon, this is the first amino acid. This is the second codon, second amino acid. But second tRNA is there on P site. Okay. Now A site is vacant position. UUU code for phenylalanine. When a phenylalanine is inactive condition, that inactive amino acid activated by the amino acyl synthesis enzyme. After activation, again the same process, the phenylalanine is attached to the CCA and so now the anticodon is AAA. So like that, this also moves to, what is that one? A site. A. Now this is the amino acid. Again, carboxyl group of this amino acid, amino group of that amino acid, their peptide bond is established. Like that, for the movement of third amino acid, elongation factor is required. Again, for translocation, elongation factor is required. So here also 2 GTPs are required. Anyway, peptide bond is formed. Look at here, 3 amino acids are there. How many peptide bonds? 2 peptide bonds, remember. Okay. Now, again, translocation. What is the meaning of translocation? Here, ribosomes are moving from one codon to another codon. So when the ribosomes are moving from one codon to another codon, look at here, this is the movement. This is the first codon AUG, and this is the second codon triple G, and the third codon is triple U, and the last codon I am drawing UAA. UAA is the nonsense codon. So this is the ribosome, this is the largest subunit, and this is the P site, and this one is the A site. Now this is the first amino acid, and this is the second amino acid. Now this is the third amino acid. Now this is the third tRNA, and second tRNA moves from ribosome, so that can be released. Again translocation, so for that 1 GTP is required. Okay, clear? So like that. So now A site, this is P site, entire polypeptide chain present on P site, and this is the A site. A site is vacant position. Actually, A site is vacant position. What is the codon? UAA. So UAA is a nonsense codon. That nonsense codon doesn't code for any amino acid. It means due to the presence of nonsense codon, here entire polypeptide chain synthesis stopped. Okay, that process is stopped, that one recognized by the releasing factors RF1 and RF2. For this releasing factors, no GTP is required. So now, very important point, look at here. Now the polypeptide chain is present on P site, even that polypeptide chain from the P site released by the releasing factors. Anyway, now very important point. If when 3 amino acids are there, how many peptide bonds are formed? 2 peptide bonds. How many water molecules are releasing? 2 water molecules. How many translocations? 2 translocations. Okay. How many tRNAs are involved? 1, 2, 3 tRNAs are involved. How many codons are required? 4 codons. In that 3 are sense codons, 1 is a nonsense codon. Okay.